The year was 1868. The Civil War had just come to an end, the first ever Memorial Day had just been celebrated, and a small canning company was just starting up in Chicago, Illinois. Brothers Arthur and Charles Libby, along with their business partner, Archibald McNeil, founded Libby, McNeil, and Libby. Little did these men know that their family's $3,000 investment would eventually become one of the United States' most storied and trusted brands. The company that began as an unassuming family operation is now a gold standard in the canning industry and beyond. Let's take a closer look at the events that have shaped Libby's history for nearly 150 years. In 1875, when the company was just 7 years old, its three founders had already innovated several new practices within the canning and packing industry. They were the first to mechanically compress meat into cans, the first to invent a customer-friendly tapered tin can, and the first to employ the recently invented refrigerated train car, which allowed fresh meat to be shipped hundreds of miles without compromising its quality. In 1880, just 12 years after its founding, Libby, McNeil, and Libby employed over 1,500 Americans, and by the turn of the century, they had built an enlarged plant in the world-famous Union Stockyards. The rapid growth was in line with the ever-quickening pace of city life at the time, and as the country progressed, so did Libby's. It was around this time that Libby's corned beef became world famous after taking home gold medals at several world expositions. It was so delicious and easy to use that Admiral Byrd even took some with him on his pioneering quest to the North Pole in 1905. Well loved by so many people, Libby's decided to expand its offerings to include sauerkraut and condiments. By the end of the decade, they were offering over 100 different types of canned products. Libby's whole range of canned fruit and vegetable products were packed at their multiple new locations, which included Sunnyvale, California, and the island of Oahu, Hawaii. By the beginning of World War I, over 3,000 canneries had popped up all over the country to feed the 50 million people that had migrated to the nation's cities over a 50-year period. Despite the competition, Libby's maintained its reputation for quality and continued to lead the ever-expanding industry. During wartime, Libby's was selected to follow America's doughboys to Europe in their standard field ration kits. Packaged in an innovative key can, every American soldier had a can of Libby's corned beef in their emergency ration kit. By the end of the war, Libby's plants had been built throughout the Mid and Northwest, as well as in upstate New York, Delaware, California, Hawaii, and Alaska. Libby's stood out as the leading canner of quality foods worldwide. Throughout the 20s and 30s, Libby's continued to grow and expanded their worldwide reputation by building factories in England, Holland, France, and Germany. In 1934, the company published the first of many well-loved illustrated cookbooks entitled My Best Recipes by Mary Hale Martin. When World War came again in the 1940s, Libby's canned goods were there. In fact, feeding our soldiers quality food overseas was so important to the war effort that more than 50% of Libby's was requisitioned by the U.S. government, with round-the-clock sentries posted to protect the Chicago plant from sabotage. When World War II at last came to a close, Libby's was still there to contribute to the war effort. The company provided millions of cases of canned meats, milk, fruits, and vegetables for the millions of displaced refugees on the continent of Europe. Libby's contribution to the war relief effort was so vital that they were the first American business to receive Allied permits. In May of 1945, just days after Germany's surrender, Libby's executives were already working to reopen plants in recently liberated Holland, France, and Germany. After 4 long years of strict wartime rationing, Americans rushed to install new refrigerators and freezers in their homes. And what did they fill them with? Libby's beloved new product line of freshly frozen foods. Throughout the 50s and 60s, Libby's formed a new kind of bond with the American family through its commitment to print and radio advertising that reflected the wholesome values and lifestyle of the era. As Americans flocked to buy televisions for their homes, Libby's remained by their side with popular TV ads featuring the now famous Libby's jingle.
When it says Libby's, Libby's, Libby's on the label, 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 nothing's better, better, better on your table, table, table.
In 1982 and the years that followed, Seneca Foods Corporation obtained the rights to license Libby's canned vegetables, frozen vegetables, and canned fruit, which ushered in a new era of innovation and commitment to the American family. For instance, just months after acquisition, Seneca was the first to offer a healthful line of no-salt vegetables under their Naturals pack label and the first to offer farm-fresh produce in jumbo cans. Through the 1990s, Seneca's reach expanded beyond the US as it obtained the rights to sell the Libby's brand in over 40 countries worldwide. But even as the newly merged company entered yet another brand new century, its passion for wholesome values remained as strong as ever. Seneca's deep commitment to the business enabled high-quality Libby's products to meet increased food safety regulations. And that Libby's jingle that became famous 50 years ago? It's still around today. Famous country singers like Sarah Evans and Jewel have even performed it during Seneca's Back to the Table advertising campaign in celebration of Libby's long-standing family values. Today, moms and dads around the world still trust Libby's to feed their family. Seneca produces Libby's fruit and vegetable products almost exclusively in 19 facilities nationwide. Plus, Seneca's products are sourced from over 2,000 family farms and packed at the peak of freshness. As always, when you choose Libby's, you know you're going to get the highest quality product. Libby's has proven itself time and time again as one of the world's most trusted and storied brands for almost 150 years. And that famous reputation for innovation continues into the 21st century with new products for today's on-the-go consumer, such as convenient vegetable cups and pouches. With that heritage and Seneca's continuing commitment, when it says Libby's on the label, you can feel good about putting it on your table.